and 4,000 strong that's now splintering up and now 800 miles away from the border, walking on foot. Yeah, that army that's trying to seek asylum in the U.S., a variation of the same theory that helps motivate Robert Bowers, the shooter who took the lives of 11 Jews in Pittsburgh last week. So apparently here's some instances of this. A guest on CNN's popular Fox Business program, Chris Farrell, repeated the migrant caravan was supported by Soros last month and encountered no pushback, no surprise there from Dobbs. The remark drew widespread criticism when the episode was rebroadcast on October 27th, hours after a gunman walked into a Pittsburgh synagogue and murdered 11 people. It condemned Farrell's remark. Fox did later and said that it would no longer re-air the segment allow Farrell, the head of conservative group Judicial Watch on the network. It's kind of sucks because Judicial Watch is pretty big for them. Representative Matt Gaetz from Florida said on October 19th appearance he has reason to believe the source is paying for the migrants. He said a report from Judicial Watch provided evidence. Representative Louis Gohmert said in an October 22nd appearance on Fox News that he can't help think the Democrats, perhaps Soros, may be funding the caravan. Gohmert again came on Fox October 31st and told Dobbs he's not anti-Semitic to criticize Soros. But according to Gaspard, Fox won't even allow Soros or his representatives on the network to defend themselves. There's no opportunity for our foundation or for thoughtful Americans to come on and rebut. That's how. That's so sad. That's how fragile the conspiracies are. They won't even let someone from the other side, someone who they're brutally attacking, come on and at least defend themselves, even a little bit, which is incredible. That is the big thing. So awful. Anyway, we now turn to the highest official in President Trump's Department of Agriculture. His name is Sonny Perdue. He said on Saturday while campaigning in the Florida gubernatorial race that it was cotton-picking important to vote for Ron DeSantis. The Republican endorsed by Trump. DeSantis, who is white, is running against the Tallahassee mayor of Andrew Gillum, would be the first black governor of the state if elected. And of course, just these casually racist comments, just throw them out there. Why? I don't get it. Why? Public policy matters, leadership matters, Perdue said, and that's why this election is so cotton-picking important. The state of Florida, I hope you don't all monkey it up. Please don't monkey it up, guys. That's what he said. No, I added the last part, but you get the sense. If you don't know, cotton picking is a southern slang for darn, but it's also known to be associated with black slaves who used to pick cotton on southern plantations before the abolition of slavery. When asked about the comment, though, DeSantis' representative advised Politico to speak to Perdue. We are happy to have him in Polk County campaigning with us. Stephen Lawson, a DeSantis spokesperson, told Politico. DeSantis and Gillum's campaign has been marked by racism ever since the day after Gillum's surprise primary win, when DeSantis went on TV and told Floridians not to monkey this up. That's where my joke before came from him. Since then, it has become clear that DeSantis had attended far-right conferences, moderated Facebook groups full of racists, and accepted donations from racists that he still has not yet returned. He's also endured racist robocalls from a white supremacist group Gillum has, who are now targeting Stacey Abrams' gubernatorial campaign in Georgia. And this is a pretty good moment. This is his response to saying if he is, in fact, racist. This is Gillum's response in the debate, and I do want to play this here because it's very good. This is Gillum's response to saying, when asked the question is Ron DeSantis racist? I'm going to play this for you here.
Mr. Gillum, I'll give you a chance to respond now.
Well, let me first say my grandmother used to say a hit dog will holler, and it hollered through this room. Mr. DeSantis has spoken. First of all, he's got neo-Nazis helping him out in this state. He has spoken at racist conferences. He's accepted a contribution and would not return it from someone who referred to the former president of the United States as a Muslim, Nigger. When asked to return that money, he said no. He's using that money to now fund negative ads. Now, I'm not calling Mr. DeSantis a racist. I'm simply saying the racists believe he's a racist.
Mr. DeSantis.
Boom. That is how you respond to something like that. Wow. Yeah, pretty cool stuff. The latest polls from Real Clear Politics say that Gillum's up about 2 points ahead of Tuesday's election. Andrew Gillum, I'm saying he's going to win. I'm saying he's going to hold on here. I think it's going to be one of the races they pick up. And it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough if he loses, and especially if you have Ron DeSantis in the governorship for Florida. It's going to be pretty cool, though, if things turn out the other way. All right, now we need to begin to ponder the imponderable. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is next. You're listening to Newsflash on the Spencer Walsh Radio Network. Thank you so much for joining us here today. We got a live Newsflash for you as always. Or not as always, we're going to do a live Newsflash in a long time. That's what happens when you get close to Election Day. That is obviously the big deal that is going on there. So yeah, nearly 2 years of organizing, candidate recruitment, on-president fundraising has led the Democratic Party to a critical moment. On Tuesday, it can either reassert itself politically or fall short, prompting an utter and complete psychological meltdown. That's what I will have on Wednesday morning. I mean, I probably just won't even do a show if they don't win on Monday. Like, if the Democrats at least don't take that, I'm just gonna be like, I'm done. I'm just done. Yeah, most of the party believe that the path will go down will be the former. They will gain a majority in the House of Representatives for the first time since President Barack Obama's first term. But paranoia is part of the Democratic DNA, especially after the shock of the 2016 election. And in the final stretch of the midterm campaign, a scenario in which the party is unable to flip the requisite 23 House seats looms in the dark recesses of everyone's mind. Well, it should be more than that. It should be in the front, because it could very well happen. It will be paralyzing for a while. It will, Neil Tanden, President and CEO of the Center for American Progress. Candidly, I think there will be a fair amount of soul-searching, and people will feel back on their heels. We have to rebuild. The resistance is built on opposition to Donald Trump's extremism, and the more extreme he is, the more we will have. As veteran Democratic strategist Paul Begala, after all this work, after all these volunteers, it would be absolutely shattering, he says. And, of course, these are all the people who know the most about grassroots effort and have been constantly doing the best possible work on raising money and getting support. Like they've been doing such a good job. No, I'm kidding. But they've been pretty much useless. Paul Begala on CNN, so important. Yeah, a few midterm elections have taken as much significance as the current one. That is in part because of what happens on Tuesday will determine whether there will be a federal check on Trump's political powers. But the elections will have an outsized impact on the composition and direction of the Democratic Party as well, from the policies it pursues to the candidacies it runs and endorses, as well as the next approach it takes in the next presidential contest. The lesson here is not to make assumptions about who desires and deserves to have a seat in the table of democracy, and that we are going to have to dig a lot deeper and make this relationship about something more than transaction and exchange of vote. Ayanna Pressley, the Democratic House candidate, of Massachusetts 7th District, said, party officials say that should they win on Tuesday, they will pursue an agenda meant to reflect the desires of their constituents while still recognizing the reality of a Republican occupying the White House and likely running the Senate. In conversations, aides have listed anti-corruption legislation, infrastructure repairs, bills to lower the cost of prescription drugs, and expanding healthcare access as top priorities. The party would also have subpoena power and allow to investigate the president's family, the federal response to Hurricane Maria, and various ethical entanglements of administration officials. Boy, that would be a time. And they just are probably just going to keep slipping up. And, I mean, they could do pretty much all the corruption they wanted under Republican House and Republican Senate and get away with it very, very easily. That would change. That would very much change. It probably would be, hopefully, the biggest changes. But in terms of policy, it's going to be very interesting to see, A, what type of Democrats win back the House, and B, the political circumstances that there are. Yeah, so I think one of the issues that resonates everywhere that I think Democrats will take very quick action on is around democracy reform. Pramila Jayapal said, who serves as vice chair of the Congressional Progressive Caucus, told the Daily Beast in an interview, really, overall, I think we're going to see a lot of accountability measures, looking at what has happened, looking at what the Trump administration has done. I think there will be, looking at what has happened, looking at what Trump administration has done, looking at the emoluments clause, which could be a pretty big deal, looking at personal gain. I think there will be a lot of hearings around exactly what's happening, trying to get control of the government so that it works for the people again. I think there really is a gold mine when it comes to that kind of stuff. Pretty much what officials fear, though, are the dangers of going after the president too hard. The primary risk of turning him to a victim in the minds of the public. And I mean, if you have a substantial amount of cases, pursue like the best 5 and go after him about it, and it should be that simple. Democrats are probably going to choose the topics ripe to investigate without looking too overzealous. That could mean restarting the House Intelligence Committee's investigation into the Russian 2016 meddling, but waiting for Special Counsel Robert Mueller's findings to make any political determination on the matter, by the way, which could very soon be coming here. It's going to be something we probably will not have to wait much longer for. But, I mean, again, really the 2016 stuff is not really my favorite idea of what we should be investigating, the Russian 2016 meddling, because I just don't think too many people really care. Like, if there's issues that people really care about, it's things to do with, again, healthcare. That's something that should be investigated. Like, how can we make healthcare better? I mean, I get Medicare for all is going to be pretty tough right now, but if we make things like prescription drug price is going to be rough. That shouldn't be too hard. Like, it may be tough to do, but prescription drug prices is something, I mean, to definitely try for. People like government corruption, getting money out of limiting like public finance, like we can all try for those kind of things. One factor that will heavily impact the direction of the party is it goes into competition of its members. A Democratic House majority would likely feature a historic share of women and women of color, whose candidacies, strong biographies, and unapologetic progressivism will form the type of members that they will be. Steve Israel, talking about the Democrats will lose, who chaired the Democratic congressional campaign until 2014, said, I just don't see it happening. If it did, in the unlikely event that it did, it will probably count as one of the biggest moral blows to Democrats in recent memory, second maybe to our presidential loss in 2016. It'd be historically bad, and that's why you guys, everyone out there has been working so hard to make sure it did not happen, and we don't know. We just don't know about what will happen, and that's why it's worth being with us 9, noon, and 2 p.m. and 8 p.m. to find out what exactly does happen, and that is when we shall be seeing each other next. Join us tomorrow at 9 for a full-hour discussion with Glenn Bradford, ladies and gentlemen, and we'll get right into it. Ladies and gentlemen, being that it is our last show today before the midterms, let's tell you what's going on. So, okay, all the action starts tomorrow at 9 a.m., where we have on Newsflash. So all the podcasts are going to be going immediately to Newsflash. We're going to have a full-hour conversation, give you everything you need to know to get ready for the big day with Glenn Bradford. He's going to be with us. It's going to be a lot of fun to talk to him. It's been a long time, actually. 12 p.m. will be our prediction show. We'll hear a bunch of voices from other new and very exciting people, new to the Spencer Walsh Radio Network. We're going to be people like Kenan Octa, you never heard of him before, James Stanley, David Langan, two people you have heard before. We're going to be talking to people like James Well, Kaya Bolzer, maybe Andrew Harris will swing by as well. They're all new contributors. You're going to see them again on our podcast after the election to a large degree as well. So thank you so much for giving them a chance, of course. Then at 2 p.m. we'll have the guy I mentioned before from New Jersey, Rohan Pandey, will be coming on. Clara and Sports from Texas, great journalist, will be joining us as well. Then at 8 p.m. the results are coming in. It's going to be nothing off limits as we get to that. We're talking on Glenn Bradford, Nick Murray Walsh, and some of the guests from earlier in the day. It's going to be great.